Things have changed enough so that moving forward, the rule should be, if you're being abused, you got to leave right away. Now, I completely understand why in the past women often did not do that. I understand, as counterintuitive as it seems, why an abused woman would send complimentary texts or emails to her abuser after the abuse. In an era where women felt for good reason that OG predators like Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein would never be held accountable, why not at least get something out of it? These men were surrounded by all sorts of enablers, skeptical cops, assistants who lured women into unsafe spaces, cowards who knew what was going on but didn't dare expose the person who signed their paycheck. In that scenario, it was not illogical for an abused woman to say, well, if I can't get justice for my pain, can I at least get a receipt, a coupon? But a lot has changed. Cosby and R. Kelly went to prison. Harvey Weinstein is going to die in prison. Larry Nassar is serving 175 years. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered in his jail cell by Hillary Clinton. Post-Me Too, reporting of sexual crimes is way up, as is the percent of women who say they're now more likely to speak out if victimized. And many states have changed laws making it easier for victims to come forward. We're not in the no one listens to women or takes them seriously era anymore. Operators are actually standing by to take your calls. And I'm aware that it can be difficult to leave an abusive relationship. Most of what I watch on TV is the Lifetime channel. But this should be society's new grand bargain. We take every accusation seriously, but don't tell me any more about your contemporaneous account that you said to two friends 10 years ago. Tell the police right away. Don't wait a decade. Don't journal about it. Don't turn it into a one-woman show. And most importantly, don't keep fucking him.
Delusional girl math.
Well, let me say what I think has been proven. The things I've heard, the testimony, the video I observed, I'm convinced that he was involved in at least 2 cases of assault and battery against women. I'm convinced that, yes, he facilitated or was an accessory and perhaps an accomplice to the explosion in the car. And to that extent, I'd have to give him a few years. And on the multiple assault and batteries against women, I'd have to give him a few more on that. If you want to sum it up, if it were a state crime, the Judge Mathis has observed the evidence and the testimony and the transcripts, what would I give him, 5 to 10?
Which is not letting him off on anything.
Not at all.
That's a tough sentence, in my opinion.
I agree.
I've seen a lot of reports online saying how Diddy should just be let free.
I think on the RICO charge and the federal charges, I am only convinced that he engaged in interstate transportation of prostitutes. And yes, that's a federal crime, a very low-level federal crime in which he would be guilty of and sentenced to less than 1 year. On the other hand, you got some state crimes, and the statute of limitation has expired, and that's why they aren't charging him in state court.
You be aight, nigga. You tough, right?
How was that pussy, though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding, you know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right?
Right.
There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in, and I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, I'm hearing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold up, wait, what did he just say? Like,
so basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay? You're saying?
Absolutely not. Bro.
Right. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on, or that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Yeah. So I really believed they were a married couple. Like when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like if I was gonna pin her, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So, and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out, to finally, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real quick. It didn't start with Puff in the room.
Nah, it never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her. And she said at some point, her husband's going to walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
So we'll be like on the couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair. And eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area, of course, the room, like watching, and we're supposed to act like he's not there.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like, I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here. A whole year? Why? So let me, how long, okay, let's, I want to stick to that for a second, but how long did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
Yeah, yo,
Okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was,
Right.
but I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you.
So then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 a.m, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite. Mm-hmm. And just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, and the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, yo, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea, man.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just cutting on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television. Wow.
Cutting on the TV.
Wow.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence. And ain't nobody threatening you, and I ain't trying to go back and forth with no woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for no motherfucking games. Where my life is at right now, I don't have no time for no games, baby girl. Me and you could be mad, I could have a spat, we could have whatever. Then after that, you better get on your job. That's really, that's all it is. Cause you got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice. So either you go in the direction of like moving on and shit like that, or you like just like have me just keep moving. Ain't no threat. I'm just being clear. I can't do the shit with you every time you get upset.
We don't give a fuck. Jesus. We don't give a fuck.
So yeah, like last time I seen Drea when we was talking about that shit, she was with Puff. And I
fucked her?
I feel like she was giving a nigga the hand. This nigga Puff is trying to have a meeting with me or whatever, and like fucking we there, and like Cassie's in the house or whatever, and like Drea's there or whatever, and like Drea's sitting next to him.
Yeah, the threesome.
And the nigga's trying to have a meeting with me, and like I think that like Drea like giving him a hand job or something under the cut blanket.
Word?
I'm like, bro, I don't want to talk too much. I went back downstairs with Travis Scott.
Wait, Drea freaky like that?
I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie. She this is some while she said my wholeness could be deleted. And honestly, if she wasn't that attractive, I would say no, it can't. But if she's so bad, I'm like, yeah, it can. Yeah, it can. For her, it can.
She bad.
So she giving him a hand job. I thought Diddy like niggas though.
I don't know what did he do behind closed.
Wait, back to the Drea shit. So when you watching her giving this nigga the hand job, like is Diddy like having eye contact with you?
No, he ain't breaking character. Like we having a full meeting.
So he's getting jacked off and he's still sitting there like, yo, Playboy, check this out.
I'm assuming what's happening. I can't confirm or deny what I was assuming.
Drea, old school free. I ain't gonna lie to you, yo, that basketball player she dating gonna start catching phase with all the niggas. You, Gilbert Arenas, cause everybody, you heard their story. They said she was in the backseat giving neck. I know she freaky. I like freaky chicks.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Some other time.
I know damn well Daphne ain't walked in with that same side part into the court with a tissue saying that she was trafficked by Diddy. Somebody please shake me right now. I was not in the court. I'm tired of that damn trial. But when I heard about this, let me read some of this to you, this testimony. So, witness Jane takes the stand during Diddy's trial. She details their relationship and the first time he arranged for her to have intercourse with another man, okay? And so, the witness is using a pseudonym Jane, takes the stand. Prosecutors asked Jane who she was in a relationship with between 2021 and 2024. She responded, Sean Combs, okay? She says the two met while she was on a 2020 girls trip in Miami and Diddy was dating her friend at the time. If it was in 2020, she was what? 34? You were still in your 30s. Stop. And anybody that dates 50 Cent is well above the game. Now, Jane said the two often referred to each other as Sesame Street characters. She was Bert, and I guess he was Ernie. Now, he was really charming, so says Daphne Diddy, and Daphne is on the stand. And Diddy is apparently currently paying her rent for $10,000, and she is up there saying that she was emotionally manipulated into freak-offs, okay? He was really charming, really nice. I was already drawn to him pretty instantly. Jane says so she wanted what her friend had. Already drawn to him, but he was messing with your friend. So she mentions that at one point her friend became upset because she thought Jane was trying to get at Diddy, which she was. She's old. 50 don't want her no more. Out here on her Megan Thee Stallion. And you know it ain't that many billionaire moguls, like Cassie said, when they asked her, why don't you leave Diddy? She said, well, who am I going to date? Jay-Z taken. Come on now. Come on. She mentions that at one point her friend became upset because she thought Jane was trying to get at Diddy. She insists Diddy is the one who pursued her. I hope they called a friend to the stand. I hope Diddy's team called a friend to the stand. Jane says she ultimately decided to give the relationship with Diddy a shot when the friend he was dating got engaged to another man and moved overseas. So she saw a clear path and decided to move in and get behind her friend. Now, Jane says her first date with Diddy happened in Miami 2021. He got her a hotel and the date lasted 5 days long. She explains that the two spoke about her past and says the father of her child was not fond of Diddy. 50. Now, the two went on another trip the next month to Turks and Caicos. Jane said Diddy's assistant, KK, came along for the trip. She said they also had a personal chef, a photographer, a butler, and a barber on a 15-day trip. It seems like she hit a lick because no man in her life has ever traveled with that much staff ever, not even 50 Cent. So she thought she had moved on up. Jane said the first time Diddy gave her ecstasy, they were at the pool. She says Diddy claimed it'd be more fun if she took the drugs. After, as the two were walking down to the beach, Jane says she fell down. Now, she says she was helped by KK and the butler because Diddy wasn't touching her. Claims that at one point KK put her in the shower, and at the end of the trip, she says Diddy offered her $10,000 because she had been away from her work as an influencer for a while. And this statement right here was loaded because this sounds, I'm gonna be honest with you, because, you know, they're trying to get him on a RICO, and then she was under the influence, and he flew her out and had a freak off with her, and the staff helped. And she mentioned all of the staff and the team. They have to prove that Diddy's whole entourage was a part of the crime. So which means if they knew that she took a pill and he gave her a pill and she fell down, and then KK, the assistant, and the butler put her in the shower, but not Diddy, to clean her up and get her ready for Diddy, that's saying that this was an organized crime. And this makes his $400 million empire subject for seizure because they're saying that he made the money under a criminal organization. And they're gonna send the money back to the Justice Department, and they're going to, you know, pay other federal witnesses and bonus themselves out for retirement funds and everything like that too. I'm just saying. So for her to specifically say the butler, this person, the chef and them picked me up. They knew I was alleged. I was like, but he's still paying your rent. Now, Jane said the two kept their relationship pretty private, and she only recalls only posting about him on social media once. Originally living on the East Coast, Jane moved to California in 2021. She says Diddy gave her $6,000 for a moving truck. He also sent her money casually throughout their time together. Between February and May 2021, Jane said Combs would fly her to Miami every other week to see him. She also explains the first time Diddy set up for her to have relations with another man while he watched. She said they would sometimes watch tapes together, and it would lead them into conversations about fantasy. She said she saw one of his assistants setting up the room for them and then seeing what she called the fantasy guy. So basically she's implicating the assistant so that they can prove that this is a RICO charge, and his whole team knew about it and conspired to help traffic this 40-year-old woman. I said, I know damn well she didn't put her hair to the side, and they had the sketch artist with her like this too, with their hair right there to the side. And I had just seen her in a picture, in a video with Young Miami, and they was all in a red room at a party. And Miami was there. This was when Lil Rod had said, you know, Young Miami them was trying to give him something, but he didn't want nothing. Then he ended up waking up beside some girls that he didn't know he had did, and was wondering, did this happen to me? Did we do anything? But the girls were asleep, and Daphne was in the picture. They got the picture on TMZ of Daphne and Young Miami, both with Diddy, both getting their rent paid, both city girls. But she an old town girl, village. She's a village girl because she old. I wonder what she gonna do for rent now. The brand is done. I don't know what they said to this woman to get her up here, but I promise you I would have disappeared to Guam like Gina. I am just appalled that you sitting up on this stand and you, in my opinion, are gonna lie like you doing now, like you was emotionally abused, it was too much for you. You could have went back to work and paid your own rent. And you're talking about breaking up with a man that's got multiple women. He told you, if you don't want to do it no more, leave. Why didn't you leave? You could have easily just started uploading on social media again and start getting your money, but he replaced the money that you was getting from social media so you could live a soft life. That's what this was about. But maybe she got a little upset that she has a baby with 50. And then Young Miami makes it to the red carpet, and it's like, what is her talent at 38 years old? What is it? What is she going to do now? I know 50, he gonna get petty. He probably gonna try to take the baby from her. Moving on.
I'm selling coach. I'm selling coach. Damn. I'm selling coach. I'm selling. Okay.
Why shit piss me off? Like, we got a Diddy trial going crazy. Now we got 50 Cent's baby mother supposedly, allegedly, testifying against 50. I mean, against P Diddy, right? 50 Cent's baby mother is, one of P Diddy's escorts, one of Puff Daddy's girls that he's been paying allegedly to have sex with on different islands, Turkey Caicos. Oh wait, he didn't take her to Turkey Caicos. She was mad that she didn't go to Turkey Caicos because young Miami got to go to Turkey Caicos. So the thing is, these women are actually in competition with themselves. This is what's going on in the streets. This was going on in everywhere you see. Like, These women go in a room and make sure they're the baddest women there, right? These women go places and want to be dressed a certain way and be looking the cutest and the best they can, you know. This is competition out here, and men know it, and women know it, and we all know it. But as the game is played, and everybody's getting uh, their piece of the pie, right? They're in competition with themselves, and they're ready to destroy each other's lives over the competition, right? Same thing with men, same shit, you know. So when a woman sees another woman getting most of the benefits of being around P Diddy or whatnot, they're having a fit. And 50 Cent's baby mother is still getting $10,000 a month from P Diddy to pay her rent and everything else, and you know, to be part of that lifestyle, right? To be the freak off girl, if you will. And this is why 50 Cent probably has been, you know, slandering Diddy for all this time. Because he knew that his baby mother, and he's supposedly sued his baby mother at that time too, like 4 or 5 years ago, because she was supposedly escorted for P. Diddy. And 50 Cent, you know, tried to sue his baby mama for that. And, you know, he dropped the case and all, but at the end of the day, he knew what P. Diddy was doing with his baby mother. So this would explain a lot of the beef and a lot of problems that 50 Cent has with um, P. Diddy. Now, these women have a competition with each other to cause P. Diddy to actually go to jail because Daphne Joy and 50 Cent's baby mother and Cassie and Young Miami, they all seeing what P. Diddy's doing, right? And as it's being shown on Instagram and everywhere else, and people are reposting and saying how much Young Miami is loving the life, these women are getting more and more jealous and figuring out how they can get a bigger piece of the pie because it's a competition. And to get to the pie, they got to get to the person, the baker, if you will. Shit. And everybody needs to know a baker. Needs to know where to get some more fucking pie from. So she's at Diddy's neck, you know, about her getting more and more money and time with him, and you know what was Turk and Caicos, and get flew out more, and she want to go on vacations more and stuff like this. What this is what 50 Cent's baby mother was talking about, and it's causing him to have to check her and leave voicemails on just like that voicemail, right? Telling her he's not playing. You just got to get to work. Stop telling me what you're seeing and how everybody else is living this life and you want to live it, but you're not willing to get to work. You just want to sit back and collect, you know. And she said she was sick one time and he forced her to constantly go back and have another freak off as she's growing up sick, you know, probably off ecstasy or ketamine or whatever else these women like to do allegedly. So this is what's happening, you know, in the Diddy trial right now. And the truth is going to come out eventually, you know, about crazy ass shit like this. This just looks crazy. All these high powered women that's getting paid millions of dollars um, are still doing crazy shit for money. You know what I'm saying? And they already in a prime position not to have to do that, and they still choose to do so. So I mean, I don't know if it's a volunteer thing because these women are far from the ghetto, you know, far from the slums. So I wouldn't imagine the woman having to do this at this position in life. But it is what it is, man. So I was accepting to we have it. Like, comment, subscribe.